Hey guys, I just wanted to share a mom parent story with any moms or parents out there that are looking to get their kiddos' ears pierced. Wanted to share my experience to maybe help someone who might go through something similar to give them peace of mind and just a quick tip so that you can make your parenting and experiences easier for yourself. But we decided to get Audrey's ears pierced back in December of last year. She was 1 year old. I wish, looking back at it, I wish we just got her ears pierced early on when she was just a few months old because they're a lot more smaller. But I just, at the time, I couldn't bring, we couldn't bring ourselves to bringing our daughter that young and her having a needle in her earlobe. But looking back now as a first time parent, I wish I went when she was still just a few months old. But anyways, we got her ears pierced. Again, decided to go to a professional person that does piercings for a living. He is a nurse practitioner. This is what he does. I've had good friends recommend this place. So we decided to go and get Audrey's ears pierced there versus doing a gun at Claire's or any other place that does guns just for sanitation purposes. And they're really clean. You use a brand new needle and X, Y, and Z. So the process of getting your kiddos' ears pierced, one, when they're little, this is when they're little, is you should bring a blanket or swaddle with you. I didn't know that. Because you're going to want to hold their arm. You're going to want to hold their arms down with the swaddle or blanket. The first time that we went for our appointment, the piercing person had a big blanket, which was a little bit too big for Audrey. So I had Jake go get the blanket from the car that we had. And then while we were inside, he was marking her ear. And you use like a marker to put a mark on top of the ear here, in the middle, and on the bottom lobe of the ear. And when you do that, you can see like the center as you come down. He did that on both sides, wanted to make sure we were happy with it. But I noticed on her left ear that the marking was a little bit lower than I wanted. Audrey was already getting fussy at this point. Jake came back with the blanket, and everything just kind of happened so fast because we were just trying to get it done, where we didn't get back to the mark that I wasn't happy with. And then he had pierced her ear. And then when I saw it, like my heart literally broke because I didn't like it. It was a lot lower, like I mentioned, than what I wanted. And I was afraid that it was uneven, and then she was going to grow up with uneven ear pierces where like one earlobe or like one earring was lower. So I kind of felt like my earring is kind of big, right? If it was a little bit bigger, I kind of felt like it would hang off her earlobe if in the future she got one. So my heart broke. I felt so bad, so guilty. And we were like sweating because we were so nervous. But at that appointment, it was done. We just kind of went through this whole thing. She was crying like we've never heard before, like screaming, and Jake was having anxiety. I was having anxiety. And then I just felt horrible because my daughter's ears pierces, like the piercings were not even on both sides. But one of her earlobes, he told me that they're different. One is longer than the other. So with that, he said they're not gonna look exactly symmetrical because of that. And I'm like, okay, but it still like didn't look good enough for me. And it was eating, like I had so much anxiety from it. And when you looked at her face from the center, you can see like one of so you could tell that her ears that were like her piercings, if you could see my ears, it was like off to the side here, and then this was perfect, like this ear was perfect, and then this was like not even. So it like killed me, and like I was like, I'm a bad mom, what do I do? I was researching, googling, Reddit, asking my cousins, other moms, what they would do. A lot of people said that they grow into it, their ears change as they grow, but it just like wasn't sitting well with me. So after some like deep back and forth, figuring out what I should do, I decided to take the ear piercing out and let it heal because she's still a baby. And I put breast milk on it to help it close, and I was praying that it would close. The only scary thing is the scar, that there might be a scar from the piercing. So Audrey was rocking one earring for 3 months, and it was fine. We let it close. We were planning to do it all again, but obviously we were really nervous. So we decided to do that today. We went and we made an appointment. We got there early. We knew to bring our own swaddle. I had my sisters in town, so my sister came with me because I needed another set of eyes just to have three of us all there and in all agreement of where this piercing was going to go. Um, our goal was actually to try to take Audrey during her nap time, which is around like 10:30 to 11 a.m. And Homegirl was sleeping in the car. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. She's sleeping. This is what we wanted, just so that we could get it over with so she's not traumatized. Now, I say traumatized because even though my daughter was only 15 months when she got her ears pierced, I think it traumatized her because she was always very, like, not scared to go to the chiropractor, to the doctor, very friendly, approachable. But after she got her ears pierced and we would go to an enclosed space, she would start crying. And we're like, it's because of the ear piercing experience. So we were really nervous to bring her to her appointment because we thought it would like babies are smart, and my daughter is really smart. So anyways, we went there. We were prepared. We know what we were going to do. Who was going to hold Audrey down? We were going to swaddle her. We were going to absolutely make sure that the piercing was right where we wanted it. Um, because now I had experience, I knew the game plan. So one thing looking back, if you are getting your kiddos' ears pierced, just know when you're doing it. Try your best to just stay calm and take your time. There's no rush to get out of there. Try to do one piercing, calm down, like have your kiddo calm down. If you're still breastfeeding your kiddo, breastfeed the kiddo between, and then go again for that next piercing, because I think that's the best thing you can do than to have them hold them down for however long you need to hold them down. It's so hard because you have to literally swaddle their arms down, and then you have to hold their face down on the table. So that was a lot. But what we did was when we walked into the piercing place, homegirl woke up. She could smell that we were in the building of the piercing place. She woke up wide awake, and I was hoping that she would. So she was wide awake, and I was like, great, we're going to have to do this. And she's awake. And I think she remembers the guy. So what we did was we came to agreement. We were going to mark it, make sure it's where we wanted. I let him know that I needed the piercing to be a little bit more to the left, closer to the side of her cheek. So since I'm facing you here, to give you guys an example, is again, her ear piercing was off to the right a little bit more. So I needed him to go in closer to the cheekbone, and a little bit higher than what it was. But even when he literally marked the marker from the top, middle, and bottom, I still wasn't sure if that was the right spot too, because I'm like, is it right? I don't know. Second guessing myself. So We laid her down. She was crying. She was upset. We swaddled her, you know, did the piercing. She's crying. She's screaming. And we're making sure it was where we wanted it. After we marked it, I took her away off to the side. I let her calm down. I breastfed her for a little bit. And then we looked at her ears since her head is up on the side where she breastfeeds on my left breast. And then when her face is down, that was actually the ear that we were doing. So we were able to look at where the marking was, that we're happy with it. I was pretty happy with it, still a little nervous. And then we're like, okay, let's get this over with. So we went back to the table. I had to hold her body down. Jake had to hold her face down. My sister was recording in the back. But so Audrey's screaming, crying, doesn't want to do it. I feel horrible, but we have to get it over with. And he's like, I want to make sure that it's in the right spot. So he's slowly and carefully doing it. And I'm hovered over her body as he's pushing the needle through, and she's screaming. And I also don't even want to look because it's making me nervous. But he pierces it and it looks pretty good. So I was like, does it need to be higher? But it's actually perfect and it looks great. So, moral of the story is she cried, but we got it done. But I'm so glad we waited. Her ear healed beautifully. There was a tiny scar from the first piercing, but it was the second time we did it, it was right where we wanted. So just know if you're not happy with your kiddos' ears pierced or where the hole is on their piercing, know that you can take it out, let it heal, and try again whenever you're ready. So hopefully this helps you or any of your friends or family who has a daughter or who has a kiddo that wants their ear pierced. Don't feel bad and know that you can change it. All right. Well, I hope that helps someone you know or you. But yeah, just wanted to share.